Well, after a couple months, here it is. The tutorial, how to make a default mask. So, my mask is made out of a material known as Lexan. You could also use plexiglass, but I just use Lexan because it's more durable and I had access to it at the time. Also, the reason that I have this stuff up here is because I attached a lighting system. Basically, it's just a USB strip, it's just a USB like LED strip and a battery bank. Battery bank goes for around $20 for like, make sure you get one like 10,000 milliamps. It'll last you pretty much for a couple hours. Then basically you just plug it in and boom, you got yourself a lit up default mask. Now, to make it not just clear and a little bit darker so it's harder to see your face through here, I used a tint which is known as a digitizing lens, or basically it's the polarizing lens for LCD monitors. I really would not recommend using it. If you can find any other film or really anything that isn't digitizing lens, use it. And please let me know because, dude, this is fucking annoying to see through sometimes. When you're cutting, these are Lexan pieces, and when you're cutting them, these are kind of like plexiglass. If you cut them fast, they have a very high chance to shatter, as when you're cutting through it well, also, you should cut, basically, to cut all these pieces, you should use a table saw. And when cutting all the pieces, make sure you cut slowly, very slowly, and along all the lines very specifically. Because if you cut it too fast, it will crack and shatter. And while you're cutting it though, it's going to have some melt up at the edges. Just sand or cut that off with a sharp knife or razor blade. I had a lot of trouble, and so probably you, when you're cutting the pieces, unless you have really high-tech equipment. You're probably going to mess up on some of the angles and measurements, which is perfectly fine. Just make sure you have enough material and you just recut a new piece. Don't try and like fix it or anything. If it's too big, just try and cut it down very, very slowly. But if it's too small, just try again because it's very hard, and do not feel bad if you mess up like 5 or 6 times. To put the actual pieces all together and to make the mask whole, you want to use either hot glue or silicone. I would recommend silicone, just because it's a lot more durable and when your LEDs heat up, it's not going to melt right through them. But for some people who don't have access to silicone, you can just use hot glue. Along all of the edges, they all form together when you're putting it together, such as this piece. When it hits against there and it goes down, there's no real specific angle until you put these pieces on. And when you put all the pieces on, I would recommend basically making this, and this piece separate, because they all attach very flat. This piece right here attaches flat to this edge. This piece attaches flat to the inner edge here, and make those two separate. So for both ends, and then put them on, and then super glue on the inside of the crack, because when the two pieces go together and they separate, there's going to be a small hole. That's what you want. When two pieces separate, there's going to be a small hole, and that's where you want to fill it in with your hot glue or silicone, depending on what you've decided to use. So when I was trying to figure out how the hell to mount this to my head, I figured out I used a hard hat helmet piece. Basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the inside to a hard hat. Very simple. And I just took that and put 2 screws through it. Went through a piece of wood that I cut to my head. Basically, I just took a thing, went to my head, got the angle of my forehead, and then put it on. It also fits a ton of other people's heads. It's very versatile. Plus, you want to make sure you have something nice and cozy so that the screws don't hurt your head. And that just goes straight through the mask, and boom, you got yourself, it's mounted and it's sturdy. The only thing is, it's a bit wobbly because how loose that this material is. But it's also good because it won't hurt your head. It'll maybe move around a bit when you're walking. That's why I don't really want to run or do any parkour in this. So the measurements for all of the mask are, I go by pieces. So this is one piece, and this is another piece, and this is another piece, and this is another piece. These three pieces mirror over to the other side. They're exactly identical. Along the top here, it is 3 1/2 inches long. Along here, it's just 3/4 inches. Along this edge, this is 6 inches. Also, this is just for this one eyepiece. Underneath here, there's a smaller piece that connects the eye to the mouse nose. And this length right here is 2 inches. Along the bottom right here is 4 1/2 inches. Along the top edge of it is 5 1/2 inches. Along this piece, it is 4 inches from along here, it is 4 inches. Along this long stride right here, it is 12 1/4 inches. Along here to here, it is 8 3/4 inches. The middle, and that basically mirrors over to the other side, so basically it's the same. For the middle piece, it's 4 3/8 inches long on the top, and 14 1/4 inches along the side. So the 10,000 milliamp battery bank is around $20. I got it from newegg.com. And also the LED USB strip, which I shortened by cutting the end there, is it was around $3 to $4. And together, it's basically just a USB LED strip and a battery bank for your phone and such with a USB. You just plug it in. So a lot of people have been saying that I should just sell the mask to them. Because I mean, I don't blame them. It's a very nice mask, and when you have the whole setup on, it's all perfect. And the reason I'm not selling it is because Ubisoft owns the Defalt mask logo and his whole character. And I respect their rights, and I respect copyright as well. That's really why I don't sell it. Otherwise, I would love to sell these things, because hell, these are fucking hard to make. I mean, it took me a month of making the schematics, but after I got it down, it only took me 1 full week to actually make the mask out of just a bunch of scrap materials. The schematics took the longest amount of time. I looked at hundreds of pictures and did tons of research, and also changed the in-game models so that I can look around fully at Defalt's mask and such. And that's when I also realized that these pieces right here don't go up like they do in every picture that you see online. These do not go up. If they do, they will collide with your hood, and then you have two giant, basically triangles sticking up out of your hood, which sucks. So I had to cut those down after I made it, and it was very annoying. I thank the original Defalt channel, where uploads YouTube videos and such with awesome effects in the background, for actually inspiring me to make this mask, and the Fat Rat for letting me use his epic music. Thank you so much, and please, sorry I'm sick and my throat's all messed up, but I needed to make this video and I finally had time, so boom, I made the fricking video. Thank you, and have a nice day.